Welcome back to What's Now. Airbnb is changing the game in a way for travel, especially during this pandemic. They've shown that many individuals prefer staying in Airbnbs. And also, if you own an Airbnb, it's a great way to find some extra income during this tough time. Let's find out more from Christopher Nulty.
A new report from Airbnb found that since the start of the pandemic, new hosts on the platform have earned $1 billion worldwide. For many, sharing their homes has provided a critical financial safety net during the time of economic uncertainty of the past year. And joining us now to discuss is the head of global public affairs at Airbnb, Christopher Nulty. Christopher, thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's start with that $1 billion. That's a huge amount of money. How have people turned to Airbnb to help them through these uncertain financial times?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's been almost 1 year since the pandemic was declared by the World Health Organization. And of course, in that time, so much has changed, including the way that we travel. As we've talked to our guests on the Airbnb platform, we've really heard two things. One, people want safety and comfort now more than ever when they're traveling. And two, they're using travel as a way to connect with friends and family. And so amidst a moment of instability and economic hardship, this shift has really created an opportunity for people to share their homes. And, so since the beginning of the pandemic, new hosts on Airbnb have earned more than $1 billion. On average, that's about $3,900 per new host here in the United States. And, from talking to those hosts, we know a number of things. One, 3 in 10 of them are using those dollars to pay their mortgage. 1 in 4 are using those dollars to, pay down debt. And so, at a moment that's been so challenging for many, it's really creating important economic opportunity.
And are you finding that people who are traveling where it's safe and it makes sense, or they have to, that they are finding more comfort in renting and going through Airbnb for their housing needs as they travel?
Yeah, early in the pandemic, we worked with Dr. Vivek Murthy, who is the former Surgeon General of the United States and now the current Surgeon General of the United States, to develop a very clear set of cleaning protocols, to protect our hosts and to protect our guests. And one of the things that we've heard from so many guests is that they just feel more comfortable, staying in a private home versus, walking through a hotel with a big lobby and many other guests. We also know, though, that, for folks who are traveling and looking to connect with their friends and family, having a kitchen and having a living room and maybe a backyard and maybe even a hot tub is a really, sort of great way, to travel, and really creates, sort of a special environment in which to, reconnect and maybe even disconnect from the world.
And what are some of the top earning travel destinations from this past year?
Yeah, what's been really interesting is that over the last year, we've really seen sort of travel spread out, not just in big cities anymore, but in smaller communities, in rural communities. In the state of California alone, new Airbnb hosts earned $67 million, in mountain regions across the country, in the Great Smoky Mountains, certainly in the mountain regions of Utah, we've seen, new hosts earning, important supplemental income. But more than anything, people are just yearning to get out of the house. And so that means that instead of hopping on a plane and flying across the country or around the globe, people are getting in their car and driving 100 or 200 miles and exploring, communities that are close to home, but communities that they haven't really seen before.
And what role in particular do you see the host playing in the future of Airbnb?
Yeah, what really makes Airbnb special is our host. There's something really different and unique about checking into someone's home with a fully stocked kitchen and a comfortable living room and a guidebook that has local, tips and insights. That's really different than sort of a sterile hotel. We really think that makes, and we know that that's what makes Airbnb special, is the great hospitality of our hosts and the really unique spaces that they create, from, mountain houses and, loft apartments in cities to castles in the south of France and yurts and, tree houses. Our hosts really do a lot to make the experience really special.
And where can we find more information?
Yeah, if you're thinking about becoming an Airbnb host or ready to pull the trigger, airbnb.com/host is the place to go. We'll give you everything you need, help you upload photos, write the perfect description, and help you get booked so guests start staying with you.
Now, this has been an encouraging conversation as we're a resort community here and our economy depends on it. So really good news with the future of Airbnb, and it's good to hear that things are going well. Thank you so much, Christopher Nulty, for joining us today here on Park City Television.
Thank you. Great to talk.